So I'm Michael Condrey. I'm one of the co-founders of Sledgehammer Games. I run the development team at the studio, and I've been working very closely on the MP side of Advanced Warfare for 3 years now. So it's super exciting to be here at COD Champs EU.
Yeah, I'm super excited too. So that's cool. I got a lot of questions, and the mainly asked question I got was, why did you introduce the skill-based matchmaking in Advanced Warfare?
Yeah, skill-based matchmaking is really a curious conversation. You know, we've always had a form of skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty for years and years. And by and large, what's in Advanced Warfare is no different than what we've had historically. The goal is to provide players with well-balanced competitive matches, right? And you know, early on, as you're trying to figure out your skill level relative to others, you may find yourselves in matches where it's not well balanced. But the more matches you play, we get a better understanding of who you are and can put you in matches where you feel like you're competing against people with similar skill, right? Nobody wants to be on the receiving end. Nobody wants to be unskilled playing somebody super veteran and getting really unfairly dominated. But with all that said, and very true to the bottom line, that's all very secondary to user experience, right? So it has to be about speed to connection first, right? We want you in a great match with a high speed, and then within that we do some checks on skill.
Yeah. It was mainly because every time I uploaded a video on like Black Ops 2, I got 100 kills, 90 kills, and then I go to Advanced Warfare and I get like 50, 60. So everyone was like, why aren't you good in Advanced Warfare? But it's because you get the same level of players, the same...
Yeah, at times, and even within a match, there's a wide degree of skill, right? What we try and prevent is, you know, a new player who has a KD of like 0.05 being introduced to the game against a player who's got a KD of 2+, right? Because that new player is not going to have a great time, right? And so, but for you and me and people who've played a lot, within your match, you will be playing against people who are much better than you and much worse than you, right? Like the in-match skill-based matchmaking is much broader than I think people understand.
Yes. Yeah, for the people who just started, it's a good thing because they can play against their own level of players. And I do a lot of videos where I talk about the little things that isn't right in the game. So every time people ask me, why don't they update it? Why don't they like now nerf the ASM1?
Right.
And can you explain a little bit how much time it costs to update something?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I got to tell you, we listen to fans all the time, and we have the best fans in the industry, right? And they're very active and loyal, and their feedback is super important to us. And so thank you for continuing to send that constructive feedback to the team. We hear it all. There's a lot going on. It is crazy how much we've done post-launch of the game, from the DLC stuff with introducing Exo Zombies to the MDLC work and new maps, right? If you look at the amount of stuff coming, it's tremendous. We've also done a ton of updates. We're like on our 13th or 14th title update, game update, with many thousands of fixes, right? Everything from map exploits all the way up to weapon tuning. And so it all coming, and it all comes in a big way. The time it takes for a studio to get a fix in place and verify that the fix is right and won't have any other knock-on issues, to getting a build that then can be sent to the first party for them to approve and then gets to release is longer than what I think people understand, right? It can take 2 to 3 weeks from the time we do something to the time that it's out. So it's not like we can just sit back at the studio and make a change to weapon balancing and then tomorrow it's in, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes
you need to test it, of course. So
test it and push it out in the game updates. But there's a lot coming, right? And I think, you know, a couple of months ago, everyone said it was just the Ball 27 was the only viable weapon, right? So we made some changes. We wanted to make sure those were right. Now the SM1, the Moore's sniper rifle, the A4. There's a couple more that are the AK-12 are all starting to feel competitive, and we've got a huge drop coming next week that will make it an even greater balance set. So I guess all I can offer to you and to your fans is keep giving us the feedback. We definitely listen and understand that we're going to get things out as soon as we can.
Yeah. Sometimes people don't realize how much time it takes to patch something or update something, because like you said, you need to test it, you need to update it, configure it, and all things like that. And of course you need to put it on all platforms.
That's right.
And last year goes that the next gen, and how did you do it with like all platforms, because you got PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, everything.
Yeah.
Wasn't that harder?
Yeah, it was really an interesting challenge, an opportunity. They really said, Activision said, with 3 years to develop, we need a true next gen Call of Duty. Like, make this one be what Call of Duty on next gen is really meant to have as a first title. And so our focus was on Xbox One, PS4, high-end PCs, right? Which meant that we took some real big risks and had some real ambitious goals. It meant getting it onto prior gen platforms a little more challenging, right? But that happened successfully too. But you're right. Now we're managing 5 real viable platforms at the same time with different release dates and different constraints, right? And so so every platform that needs an update, right, has different timing, and it gets to be an interesting challenge.
Yeah. You took a big risk with the Exosuit 2.
Yep.
And did you think it paid out? Did you think the critics were good, or did you maybe thought, let's go back to the old style?
No, I thought it paid off. I really did. I mean, on MW3, and I was super proud of what we did on MW3. Won Action Game of the Year with that game, but resounding sort of critical feedback was, give us a new way to play Call of Duty. And so that was from day one, almost 3.5 years ago now. Our design pillar was preserve everything that's great about Call of Duty, right? That great gun-on-gun action has to maintain, but give players a new way to play. And it's really a dramatic change, right? From player movement set, probably the biggest change.
Yeah, everything is going fast. You can double jump. You can just run away from gunfights, which never could.
Absolutely. The verticality and the ability to chain moves, slams into knee slides, into jumps. It's faster, it's more fluid, and I think it's really changed the pace at which you play Call of Duty. And I can't, I have a hard time going back. I think, the flexibility and the freedom is really, really strong.
Yeah. And you are going to release 4 map packs. Now the first one, Havoc, is now out on all platforms except for the PC.
That's right.
And a little bit of delay. Do you think that in the next map packs there will be new DLC guns, or will there be maps from previous Call of Duties?
Yeah, the next DLC release, super exciting. There's some surprises in there. New ways to play, new exo abilities. Great new maps with dynamic events, some new, there's a bunch of stuff. I can't quite tell all the secrets yet, but I think fans are going to be really thrilled.
It will be exciting to see it.
For sure.
Yeah, and in like Ghost you had 35 perks, I guess, and you brought it back in Advanced Warfare to like 5 per slot, I think maybe in total. Why did you didn't do it like 40 or maybe just 9 or something?
Yeah, we really took a look at what we thought were franchise examples of best in class, and really use those to then evolve. And so I think, pick 13 for us. We love pick 10 as a player. I love pick 10 and the elegance of what it allows us to do. And we thought, bringing in score streaks into that for pick 13 was a really strong move. And then on top of score streaks, we added customizable score streaks with all the modules. It gave you tons of flexibility and freedom to build score streaks to your way. With perks, we wanted them all to be very strategic and meaningful, right? So we reduced them down to the ones that we thought were really core and meaningful choices, since it sits within the pick 13 system to really say, am I going to use a wild card and take an extra perk, right? pick a wild card.
You can customize whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can put 4 score streaks on, or
yeah,
just
exactly.
two primary weapons. It's the pick 10 system in Black Ops was really good.
Yeah, and I like pick 13. That people who might not want to pick score streaks, they don't have to. First time you can take no score streaks or take 4 score streaks, like you said.
Yeah.
So we feel like the degree of freedom was the right choices, and within those choices, each of those choices are really meaningful to each other, right? Like, is that extra exo ability worth more or less in you than maybe a third attachment, right? So I don't know. I like how the system turned out.
Yeah, I like the pick 30 system, pick 13 system. But I guess that was all. So thank you very much for your time. And we will enjoy Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, well, thank you. I look forward to seeing you in LA.
It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah,
I've never been there, so it will be good.
We'll be good. We'll look forward to celebrating together. Thank you.
It's gonna be great.